In this video I will assemble everything in the ultimate starter set. I'm Alex, you're watching Winterwolf Miniatures. It's a daunting task for sure, but if you just start and don't think about it, the pile of sprue will be diminishing quickly. As with all big projects, I recommend dividing everything in smaller, more manageable chunks, to keep your spirit up and your sanity alive. It can easily become intimidating, but remember that the more work you put in, the less work remain. But don't think about it as work, it's your hobby. It should be enjoyed. I enjoy assembling miniatures, but admittingly less nowadays with all the monoposes and lack of choice that comes with it. But it's still nice to sit down, crank up some good music or an exciting audiobook or podcast and just let your hands work. Clip clip, glue glue. These miniatures is designed to be assembled without glue, but I use glue anyway. Because I have glue, and I like when my miniatures feel solid. As you can see, I started with the Space Marines. That's simply because they are just 12 guys, so it should be done fairly quickly. When that's done, my brain will think I'm halfway through, even though that's not hardly the case. But brains are stupid and you can easily outsmart them. The logic in that statement might not be flawless, but I think you know what I mean. We each have different techniques to keep us motivated when doing huge projects. And just like that, the 12 Space Marines are assembled. I started with the terrain pieces next, thinking it would be a quick job. I was wrong. Very, very wrong. While the assembly part is easy enough, the clipping and cleaning part was a nightmare. The pieces are connected to the sprues very tightly, and with so many supports my clipping tool thought about going on a strike, demanding higher pay. I do not pay my tools anything more than the bare minimum of attention, but soon discourage the potential strikes by the promise of a long holiday after this job. I do not talk to my tools either, so don't worry about my mental state. I'm simply trying to come up with things to say while you are watching footage of my hands doing stuff with and to plastic. Using knives and files, I clean the bits to an okay standard. No one cares about the quality of your terrain pieces, and if a mole line on your terrain inspires rage in someone, that person's mental health should probably be worried about. This is the nice thing about making terrain pieces. It's like a short vacation from the sometimes tedious perfection. These pieces is absolutely stunning though. The level of detail is fantastic. I wish I had the time to paint terrain pieces like these with the same level of detail as I paint my miniatures, and feel a bit sad thinking about the rudimentary paint job these will receive. But I have lots of cool terrain pieces laying about I want to paint nicely, and do you know what they all have in common? Yeah, they are not painted. At all. Painted fast is still better than not painted. You can also return and add more detail later. Terrain is built, so it's time for the space bugs. I'll start with the prime, simply because it's at the top of my pile of spruce right now. But my general plan with the space bugs is to do them in order of interest. That will probably mean that the 20 termagants will be last. But at that point, the vicinity of the finish line will probably be good enough motivation. The assembly of the Tyranids is pretty straightforward. The pieces fit well, but you have to be careful to use the right pieces for the right model. There is a lot of pieces and they all look very similar. So my advice, keep them all at the sprue and only clip the ones you need when you need them. As you can see here, I'm fully finishing assembling one model before starting to clip pieces for the next. Also be careful. These models have many sticky out bits and it's slimmer and more easily broken compared to the Space Marine bits. I broke at least one little spike or sticky outy thing, whatever it was. I've recently put together a whole bunch of bloodletters and that kit is old. The amount of mold lines on those are immense. But in these and the newer kits from GW in general, mold lines simply aren't a thing anymore. Sure, if you look for them you might see some, but it's nothing compared to how it was. I'm gonna put some stuff on the bases and prime these, and then the assembly step is done. The Space Marines will be dark red, so I'll prime them black. The terrain will be dark as well, so they too get a black primer. This is a quick step with a rattle can primer, I thought. But the black primer I had turned out to be almost empty, and not full as I thought. So I have to do some additional priming with my airbrush or buy a new can. The bugs will be bone-ish in color, so they get a white primer. And there we have it. Everything is built and primed, and honestly, that's all you have to do to enjoy playing your first game of Warhammer 40k. But we will put a whole lot more love into these tiny little plastic men and bugs in the next video. That's it for today. Don't forget to hit like on this video and subscribe to my channel so you don't miss the next video in this series. Thank you so much for watching, and see you soon.